Yo. Welcome in, welcome in.
Vatri Official. Welcome to my channel. What's the best video game ever made?
What up, what up? Welcome in, welcome in. Let me set up the vertical. No, the horizontal. We about to get started. What up, SR Gamer?
Welcome to my channel.
What's up, what's up? How's it going, how's it going? How your day been going? It's been a good day, busy day. Definitely a busy day. I can definitely say that. Now mind you, I ain't my tattoo today. But it's been crazy with this content. Been going hard with the content. What up, Brown?
J Brown. Welcome to my channel.
Too much info, my boy.
My pickle itch and I'm scratching it, brother.
Too much info, my boy. TMI on that. Call the flag on the play. I think everything good. Let me just set it up.
I put a potato in my Speedo and took a selfie.
Oh, bro. You're doing too much. That's the problem right there, bro. Just a little too much. Just a little. So what's the word should we be doing today? Patience, hustle, money, grind. Great. I don't like that shadow. That shadow's still there. Gonna just do glory. I got my machine set up. I think we're gonna start this with, let's see what size needle this is. We got a 3 right there.
Botrix. Welcome to my channel.
Let me give me a 7 round
Thanks
line
for
out.
joining the live. Your follow will be appreciated.
I'm gonna have a 7 and I'm gonna come back with the 3. Tighten it up. Like I always say, hit it with the bigger liner. Come back, tighten it up. Or I'm gonna show you 2 ways to do it though. Cause you can start out with the smaller liner and then come back and fill in. It's all like personal preference and what you choose, what you decide to do though. But this right here, as much as I really be needing for a basic name, yeah, I remember I used to have to draw the whole name out, but nah, basic sketch out of it and I'll be good. That bad boy been going off all day, huh? Caught up. We already there. How everybody doing? Hopefully everybody had a great day today. Let me see. That's fire. Stay there. Give me a little ointment out. What up, Jeremy? Ink caps. Well, just one ink cap because it's gonna be just black. I just wanted to go over some lines and those that had questions. I know everybody don't got exactly how to do lines, so I just wanted to hop on, practice some lines and talk with y'all. If y'all had questions, definitely let me know. And we're gonna be practicing some lines together. My main thing, I gotta practice shading more. I'm trying to get the smoothest of the smoothest shade, Appreciate everybody that's hopping in. Y'all run up the like, share the live with somebody that's trying to start tattooing, or if they just into tattoos. No biggie. Just share the live with them. And of course we using dynamic black, dynamic. I always been using dynamic since I pretty much started out. Yep, 0.30, yeah. That's like the bug pin needles. The 35 I believe is the standard needles. So it's like, I guess it depends on where they from. I'm gonna show you this right here. Let me see. See these needles? These needles here have the 30 on them, which is like bug pin. But these needles here, they don't got the 30. They just got the 10 gauge, which is bug pin. So I guess depends on where you're ordering them from. It'll have 10 gauge, or some of them have 30. And 35 means standard, and the 12 means standard up there. So I guess it all depends on where you're getting them from, though. So yep, we pretty much the 30, 10 gauge needle. Bug pin needle. We got a little hangout on our needle. slight hang out. You don't want it hanging out too much, because then it'll start getting caught on your skin. So starting out, just by me having this mapped out like this, you see if I wipe it, it'll easily try to wipe off. So to preserve your stencil, I always tell people start on the right side. Well, right side because I'm right-handed, but if you're left-handed, start on your left side. And I'm gonna just go ahead slowly let it down, and we're gonna start moving. You never want your needle sitting in one spot on the skin. You always want that needle moving. I say if it's always like sitting still or something like that, you definitely gonna rip a hole in the skin. It's an easy way to just rip a hole in the skin. Even on fake skin, if you got that needle just sitting on one area, you definitely gonna cut through it over time. People always use the example like an airplane strip. You come down and you start moving. Come down, like slowly moving your hand as you come down. Boom. But yep. Yeah, though 12 gauge is pretty much the standard needle, which I believe in other terms like the 35 is on standard needles. Cause I got the 30, I always use 30, so that's like bug pit needles. And you know what's crazy? This stuff that I wish I knew when I started out. When I started out, I only was using like what? A 12 gauge standard 9-round liner. Getting some crazy bold lines, not even knowing that there was other needles I could be using. But you know, that's the downfall of like being self-taught and learning on your own. You have nobody to show you the difference. Like you don't have nobody to show you the way basically. When you got an apprenticeship, you have somebody to show you the way, show you the steps, things like that. But if you don't have nobody to apprentice you, then you gotta just do what you gotta do and keep it moving. And that was basically my situation. I went to shops, tried to get in shops, but nobody wasn't accepting me. I was trying to get into people, in that space, in that environment with the artists. But people saw the work, they didn't want to accept it. So I said, you know what? I gotta just do what I gotta do. I just got some quail 30s, yeah. And you know the crazy thing, I heard of quails before, but I never tried them out. I never tried the quail. I might have to order some. And remember, with lines, you don't want to go too far. You want to only stretch within your comfort zone. If your hand stop right here, then you got to stop. It's slightly lifting up. Because if you try to keep going and start moving your arm and like that, you're going to eventually get a little crooked line unless you're used to moving that way. But, like I said, I tattoo from the wrist. I don't really pull from the arm like that. I guess you'll catch me doing it sometime, but more comfortable for me is definitely pulling from the wrist. But, to each their own, everybody got a different way of doing things. Check them out, no splatter. Okay. Oh, that's the ones that got the they got the little mechanism in the inside that catch the ink. Yeah. Quail. I'm definitely gonna check them out. Appreciate that too. Appreciate that, C-Dub. So you slowly fade off that end. And lifting it up as we go on. And also, that's another thing to remember, get in the habit of doing while you're tatting, is basically dabbing. Not only that it helps the client like take less pain, because that is unnecessary pain when you're constantly wiping it, but it also preserves your stencil. Like my stencil getting dirty, but I'm not gonna wipe it so I can just wipe it all the way. Because that's basically what will happen if I just go ahead and wipe it. Now that constant curve, by that having that loop, you see I was able to go way further because it's still within that wrist motion. But if it was going further out this way, of course I would have just stopped. But by that wrist hitting that loop, that U-turn around, I was easily able to make a longer line. I'm about to go in and hit somewhere where our bowl lines will be at. And basically to get them bowl lines, I just basically like you're sculpting your line. Basically a line on side of a line. Basically making that line on side of a line. And now mind you, this is the first method I would say to do your line work. I'm going to show you all the second method where I just basically start out with a smaller liner and then you will come back with the bigger liner. Like I say, it's more than one way to tattoo. It's all about what's comfortable for you. We're going to go ahead and hit this side of the Y. Same way we did the rest, and then we're going to come back and bowling it up. And that's one thing I always say as well, that I recently caught on to, is down thick, up thin. So when you come down, this line right here, it definitely will be bold, because we're coming down. We go ahead and bowling that up.
_murder504. Welcome
Going
to
down,
my channel.
Bowling that up.
Man, that would be awesome if you done my tattoo.
And as we go up, it'll be thin. I say down thick, up thin. Which means when we coming on this side of the wire going down, it's gonna be thick. Myself, you down here in New Orleans, definitely I don't mind doing your tat. Appreciate you. I gotta definitely get some more oranges and do some more oranges and stuff.
Your lines are really neat. Free on podcast. Welcome to my channel. Shout out from Montreal, Quebec.
What up, Montreal?
How many channels you subscribe to on YouTube?
What's up? Appreciate y'all. Y'all come with practice.
CR M3L0ST. Welcome to my channel.
Welcome in.
How long you been doing tats?
It's been 12 years for me. About to be going on 13 next year.
If I had some money in my account, I would give you a super chat.
I definitely appreciate that thought. But appreciate you for hopping on the live. Appreciate your time, you know?
That's some clean work.
Appreciate it. We'll probably leave that one and come back with that 3-round liner for them tighter spots. Matter of fact, we ain't gotta come back. We could go right now. Get our 3-round line out. And since we're gonna have our 3-round line out, I'm gonna show y'all the second method with the next letter. Put a little black on there. And that thin line, we're gonna come back to it and lightly hit it.
Free C murder. Have you used Indian ink like in the old school days?
No, I wasn't tattooing back then. The only thing I used that Indian ink for when I was learning like to draw with ink, like kind of on the paper, almost like watercolor ink. We also get into the habit of tightening our lines up, tighten it. Make sure everything clean. Cause this line not even in all the way. Right
I
here.
use that now.
Tell you what. Or you use Indian ink? Or you be tattooing?
Yes.
No, I don't think I ever used the Indian ink to tattoo with. How long you been tattooing for? Or you just starting out?
Just starting.
Well, hopefully this helping you. Like I said, start from the right side. Don't never start with, if you right-handed, don't never start on this side and then go back. You're gonna wipe away your tattoo. So always start on the right side if you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, you'll start on the left side and kind of go back. Because if you do the opposite, you wiping away that stencil. And that's a very important thing, especially if you don't know how to draw your letters and nothing like that. You wipe away that stencil, you're gonna be lost. What up, Jadon? And that's why I tell people with tattooing, like you don't always have to know how to draw, but it's definitely good to know how to draw because when you wipe away your stencil, you're gonna try to draw it back on, but you're gonna really be lost in the process and just trying to figure it out. Versus if you know how to draw, you actually learn how to draw a little bit. You lose your stencil, then you're not gonna be lost. You can improvise, draw it back on there. That's the good thing. I said you don't have to, but it's a benefit. Definitely a benefit that'll come through because it happens. Not only that, say lights go out and you ain't got the stencil printer or whatever like that, but things could happen other than that. Like I say, wiping your stencil off. You just happen to have a disaster, your printer not working. All those things to come into play and you only got your hands at the end of the day. So if you could draw, your hands can make it happen for you. Make sure this clean right here. Now mind y'all, like fake skin is really nothing like real skin because it takes a lot of work on fake skin. But one thing I'll say, it will help you like focusing on getting like straight lines and all that. It could be a bad habit, but I don't say it's a bad habit because once you touch real skin, you're gonna see the ink going in so fast. It's just normal to adjust what basically the speed that it's working at while it's going in so fast. But this, you gotta kind of take a little bit long because you're working in this little silicone. And that's another thing I recommend, because fake skin's so hard. A thing that can really help out is practicing on like an orange or something. The ink definitely going real fast. So I say that's definitely good practice. And I say this is the second method you could do your lines. Start out with your 3-round liner, a small liner. Instead of sculpting it with the bigger line in the beginning, you can easily just map it out. You see, now you basically pretty much got an open line. And you could come back Now mind, this still a 3-round liner, but you could come back with your 7-round liner and basically shade it in. And I think this way is good because you definitely have some sharp edges. You don't gotta come back from the bold one, like how I'm coming back with the small one and touching it. You could just go straight in with the small one, sharpen it up, and then come back with the bold one to shade it in. So it's two methods. To me, it depends on like if you're doing big names or small. Remember I say the best method is to come in with that small
What is
outline
your needle
and
depth?
hit it. Other than that, your big one will work just fine though. Remember I say the needle depth is just probably about 1.5. Probably even 1 because I'm like kind of literally tapping the skin. I'm not trying to dig into the skin, nothing like that. The minute you feel a vibration from your tattoo machine, you know that the needle is hitting the skin. Start moving. Like I said, you're going to start moving and boom, you're going to see them lines get laid down. One thing I say, sharp needles make a difference. Once you use sharp needles, you can't go back to dull needles. Because I done did that. I'm like, oh man, I went back to the needles I used to use, and I'm like, damn, what was I doing? You really got to hit the skin over and over and over, try to get them lines in, and they still not sharp. So definitely, needles, quality needles make a big difference. Go back with our 3-round liner. We're gonna curve this around on that side so it stands out. We're gonna swing this around into that O. Get it to flow. And like I said, I could just literally stick with my 3-round liner the whole way around. Like I said, you get them sharp lines on the outside, you can always come back with the 7-round liner to fill it in. Like I said, it depends on your situation though. You could do it either way. Some people probably prefer to start with a bigger liner and come back and tighten it up. And right there, see how that's the smaller line, 3-round liner. Leave that open. Left it open, I can always go back and tighten it up. I'm about to finish the O. And I'm gonna come back with the 7-round liner to basically fill it in. See how that worked? What up, awesome? This is our 7-round liner. Let's take that out. I struggle with being soft-handed and having to go over lines after I clean off the piece and the tips. One thing I was just talking about that if you're struggling with lines and you're saying you're struggling being soft-handed, so if you're struggling being soft-handed and having to go over the lines, that means you're probably just not going deep enough if you're struggling with the lines. Or maybe your machine moving too slow and your hand moving too fast. If the two don't add up, basically your line's not gonna get saturated, just like shading. And you said go over lines after I clean off the piece. Well, one thing, you gonna have to do that. Oh no, I see what you're saying now. You worry so much about blowouts, which you should. You should worry about blowouts because they can't be fixed unless you're basically trying to cover them up. But blowouts pretty much can't be fixed. So the thing to avoid blowouts, start with a slower speed. Because if you're using a 1-round liner at a high speed, guess what? One little ink, it could be a blowout. So 1-round liner, you learn over time. Let me start with a 5 or a 6 volts because this 1-round liner could easily get a blowout. So lightly tap the skin at 5. You're just gonna have to hit it a few times and boom, you're gonna be good. But just start with a slower speed and move up to a high speed. Depends on your comfort level. I always say that. Depends on your comfort level. But yeah, your speed and your hand speed and your machine speed, that gotta match up. So if you're struggling with like being soft-handed, practice on some fake skin on the orange. If you jigging that orange and you busting it open, you know that you're going too deep. So I say just like kind of practice floating it. Also, do you ever use your pinky like your kickstand? One thing I tell everybody, that pinky is pretty much like your kickstand. You sit it down and then boom, you rest it on the skin. That pinky, rest it on the skin, and you work pretty much off of your pinky, and you stay at that consistent height, consistent depth. But if you like kind of just all over, you can relax it on your hand. I'm pretty comfortable with it now, but I started out with a pinky. Now mind, if I'm in a tight area and I'm really trying to, like the neck, that pinky come in handy because I gotta really press on the neck. I ain't got too much wiggle room to work with. So that kickstand definitely still come in handy. But appreciate that. How you say that? Britannicus. Let me pull our 7-round line in. We're gonna go back with the 7-round line. We about to go ahead and fill this letter in now. Like I said, this is the second method. Go on in with your 3-round liner first, and then you come back and you shade in your letters. Both ways work, but it's all about what's more comfortable to you. So if it's some real big letters, then you're gonna be definitely going in with your 7-round liner. But like I said, these small and tiny, and they got some tiny lines for them thin lines. So your 3 starting out won't be a bad idea. It'll work perfect, and you just gotta come back and fill it in. Or you can also sculpt your lines with the 3-round line as well. So most of the time, if I'm starting out with the 3-round line and it's small letters like this, I do the whole thing with the 3-round liner. It's really not needed to use 2 needles on a name like this. Your 3-round could do just fine. But if it was bigger, I'd say definitely on that 7 and a 3 at the same time, because you don't want to try to do all that shading in your letters with a 3-round liner either. But there's not a whole lot of shading. Yes, I feel all these are things I need to work on, yeah. Or is Brit delicious? Like, oh, delicious. Or Brit delicious. Yeah, okay, I got you. For sure. Appreciate it, Brit delicious. You got that, but keep on practicing. It definitely come over time. It ain't done in one day. But that kickstand, keep that in mind. You could use that. That's gonna help you be more stable with your lines. And also y'all can tell the difference between the O and the aura and just the Y. I did the Y with just my 7-round liner. Versus the letters is way more bolder when I did them with the 3-round liner, because I left that open space to come back. Starting with the 7-round liner, I mainly just go on with a line and I'm sculpting that line until it's at that perfect thickness I want it at. The 3-round liner, I ain't really sculpting it to that thickness. I'm already opening that letter up to that thickness I want, and we just filling in. So I say that's the difference between those 2 methods. One is you outline the whole thing to go fill in, and one is you outlining and you ain't worrying about going fill in because you're sculpting your lines already on the side of each other, so they're gonna already be bold. So you notice how I'm doing this, and versus that one I went back and shaded. This one I'm just lining the whole thing. So I say that's the difference between the 2 methods. And I'm glad that you all be on here and allow me to do the videos, because it feel like I still be teaching myself different ways, finding different things ways I could do it. What's up, Ashley? What up? So the machine this is the Ambition Ninja And the Ambition Ninja is definitely a good lining machine, full stroke. So, full stroke and up, that's pretty much lining material for me. For shading, I'm definitely going 3.2, 3.5. But don't mean you can't line with the full stroke, because they got some people that really, don't mean you can't shade with the full stroke. They got some people that really do some crazy nice work with a full stroke machine, and I be wondering how. But I think the key is with that is using a real low voltage, so that when you're sliding across the skin, it's not hitting the skin as many times, so you allow you to create your feathery dots and your soft shading. Welcome in, welcome in. What up, Ash? So I definitely say that's the difference between those two methods, though. It's like when I'm about to finish off a line, I like kind of swipe, because it's slightly lifting up. Yeah, that too. 3.5. Yeah, that's why I said 3. I think really it started at 2.5 for shading. Really 1.5. But I never went that low, so I always stayed in between 3.2 and 3.5. But I tried the 3.5 on my own. What that is, the FKI machine. It hits a little bit harder, but it's not as hard as the full stroke. But I just prefer the 3.2 because it's definitely more light on the skin. Because of course, the longer the stroke, the more throw is going to have hitting that skin harder and harder the higher the stroke is. So 3.2 give me like perfect comfort level to kind of build my layers up, to a 3.5 is like I got less passes on the skin. You see what I'm saying? So yep, you right about that, Ashley.
Dylan Walker. Welcome to my channel. Wassup.
What's up? What's up? Welcome in. Welcome in, Walker. So I'm about to come back with the 3-round line to hit that light line at the bottom. We got our bold lines, but we got to go back and hit that light line. That's them on small thin lines you really want to be clean. What up, Ryan Trice?
Welcome to my channel. Jews.
What up, Ryan Trice? Remember, I'm cleaning the ink off with just A&D ointment. I just keep some A&D ointment. I used to use the green soap, but the green soap don't really do too much. What's up, Ron Trice? Appreciate you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Welcome in, welcome in. And like I said, that 3-round line, to make sure you capture these real thin lines. You don't want them too bold, because you already got our thick lines where our thick lines are going to be at. So we got to have our thin lines to kind of show that perfect calligraphy. You know, calligraphy is like a bold, thin, and that's what we're going for. So just take your time creating them lines. Over time, you're gonna get them clean. Best believe you're gonna get them clean. Take time. I just say practice, 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 and you're gonna get there. And that's why I say you never stop growing. You never stop growing. That's why I'm always still trying different stuff. But this right here just kind of keep me on my game. Everybody could use their practice, because if you don't use it, what they say, you lose it. So definitely make sure you stay on top of it. Now mind you, you ain't gonna lose it completely, but you're gonna be rusty. Think about it, if you used to do tricks on a motorbike, but you ain't do tricks in who knows how long, you ain't gonna be as good as you was when you was like all in, like on a daily basis. You're gonna still have some of the skills, but you're gonna have to start out with your basic tricks versus when you used to hit all of them exclusive tricks on a regular. Come on, bro. Okay, connected back. I'm about to say, brother, you don't do me like that. Alright, look like we came up. We dropped for a second. I don't know why. I don't know if this the time they test the internet and stuff. But I don't like it. And that's another thing on Real Skin. You see how I had to adjust myself? Said it trying to turn the skin. Get in the habit of adjusting your arm or your body to kind of get them perfect lines that you're going for. Because you can't always turn somebody's own body part how you want it. That'll be a tough job. So get in the habit of angling your needle that's more comfortable to pull that line to you. What up, return sender? I'm about to go with the L. Like I said, I'm gonna go with my 3-round liner. Well, let's tighten this up first because I see that line look like it's off right there. This line definitely because it's bold on this top. And there's always different ways to do it. I see some people be hitting them all kind of ways. But also some people like be on names and stuff like their whole life. And been practicing it. So I know I'm not one of them people. All I could do is try and learn from those people that's really like kind of came up in calligraphy. How do you know when you can use freestyle skills or keep it original? Like, I'm about to tell you right now. So freestyle versus like keeping it original. One thing for sure, a portrait, ain't no freestyle in that unless I'm doing something in the background. So that's 100% original to picture. But a name, like how I drew this on there, I could go with exactly this, or I could go ahead and change it up, add my own little touch to it. So names and something like a flower, you could kind of freehand it. If it's just a flower and you gotta add some leaves, go ahead and freehand some leaves if you're comfortable with doing the leaves. But if it's like a realistic rose or some petal, you want to kind of keep that 100% realistic to follow that stencil, because you don't want to draw a leaf and it kind of look cartoonish type and it's not like perfect light and perfect shadows how it was on a real flower. That's kind of how you know where you can freestyle at. If it's a realistic reference, I'll say try not to freestyle because some could easily be off. We could draw things on, but it don't be like as realistic. Unless you just that good with drawing, then yeah, I wouldn't say freestyle that though. But dragons and stuff like that, I'm not good with it, so I definitely follow the picture. But that's kind of how you decide. Realistic wise, I say no freestyling. Maybe some wings or something, but still, I prefer to follow a reference. But anything else like roses, something you could just draw on a name and something like that, I say go ahead and freestyle it. If you're capable of doing it, go ahead and freestyle it. That's how you know though. Realistic, I say stay away from freestyle. Because that's the whole purpose of being realistic. But mind you, if I stencil a realistic flower, don't mean I can't freehand and draw my name on top of it or on side the stem or anything like that. You can freehand what you're comfortable freehanding with. Like the name at the bottom, you can add swirls going around the flower. Okay, it would make sense, but your realistic flower, you don't want to freehand it and it don't look realistic no more. So that's how you know. Let me know if that makes sense for you. Yeah, because what's realistic, you want to remain realistic. You don't want to like make it cartoonish if you trying to give your client something realistic. Now mind you, something like flowers that's realistic, but I mean used to tattooing realistic, I still will kind of like, I got the stencil, okay, I got the stencil of the flower, but I can freehand the inside of that flower to still get it looking realistic. That's why I say if you're comfortable with it, you can kind of go ahead with that route. But if you ain't comfortable with it, just follow that stencil and follow a reference picture. No problem, no problem. Appreciate you. Alright, let's go in with our 3-round liner. We're going to map out the L. And like I said, only do the lines that you feel comfortable with. If you got to stop, recuperate, pick back up at that same line. But if you ain't comfortable like dragging it all the way down, don't do it, because the minute some like go off, your hand will definitely shift once it's not really stable no more. So you want to watch that. So only stay within your comfort zone until you get comfortable getting out of that comfort zone. Swipe it up. And see, that's a thin line because it's a 3-round liner, right? So since we with our 3-round liner, we pretty much about to go right on side this line, but we're gonna open it up to keep our line bold. So start at the top, and let's open that L up so we can come back and shade it in. And we're gonna do it just like the other side. Stay in our comfort zone. If it ain't too comfortable, stop. You know, readjust yourself and come back, finish that line. And like I said, we could come back with our 7-round liner and basically fill it in. If you're comfortable, you could go ahead with the 3-round liner and fill it in. But I'm gonna finish the rest of the letter first before I fill anything in. You say any good brands? Well, so far with fake skin, the good brands I've used, I said this was one of the best of them. It's just silicone off Amazon, and it's probably more reasonable. But they got they got real. I ain't tried real skin yet. Wait, what's that real skin that I had? I forgot the name of that one. It might have been real skin, but that one good. Also, the Pound of Flesh. Pound of Flesh is definitely good. That was the first good fake skin that I tried out. But now it seems like they got a lot of closer ones to that Pound of Flesh. So it's like, it's still affordable. Versus Pound of Flesh came out, it was expensive. But yeah, they got real skin. I'm trying to think of the one that I tried on Amazon. It was a good one. You're gonna go ahead and finish that name up, or that L up. Now mine, I say down thick, up thin. So when I'm drawing it, I draw my L going up like that. Tattooing, most likely I'm coming down with it, but drawing, you definitely come down with this L 100% of the time. So that's how you keep in mind like what you're gonna put thick and what you're gonna put thin. You say fake arms? Yeah, Pound of Flesh, I think the only one that sell fake arms. Yeah, Pound of Flesh. And I think I tried somebody I was working with in the shop. They had a fake arm and I tried it. And that's how I knew how good it was. What up, Zanaya? Who? What up, what up, what up? My bad, I'm late on that one. And your text to speech ain't come through. Thanks for the follow. You see that? I came far enough, and I ain't want to stretch it, so just pick it up. Even if you feel like your hand is about to start shaking, pick it up. You don't want to follow through and your hand shaking, you're going to mess it up. So it's better to lift your hand and then readjust yourself. And that's what I mean by like freestyling. Like I could barely see my swirl that I have right here, but I know for sure I could just kind of freehand it and still be comfortable with it once I connect everything. But the thing that helped me with trying to, like, you know, being comfortable making them swirls like that I don't know if I showed y'all, but them small circles, lines on the paper, practicing that give you muscle memory. So when you're making them swirls, boom, it's easy. Because you done practice it, you got muscle memory in your own wrist, so you kind of comfortable with that. Yeah, so you gonna always double check your lines, make sure you don't need nothing. Cause I'm gonna come back definitely and find something. I do it on my tattoos all the time. I'm always looking around. I don't know how. I just built in the habit of looking for something. Don't know. For real, in the beginning, it wasn't always like that, but now it's like I'm always looking for something. What needles are you using again? I'm sorry. So the brand of the needle I'm using is on Mass Pro. They got some good cartridges. Mass Pro got some good cartridges. But this is like a what? This is a 3-round bug pin needle. So it's like a 30. You can look at it 30 diameter, but it's like a 10 gauge bug pin needle. Do you have to whip out on every line? Not technically, no. The reason why I catch myself whipping out is that's how I like wind up drawing and building the habit up. When I like whip, when I'm drawing, I built the habit of doing that. So like when I tattoo, sometimes I just like kind of like slightly whip out. I don't know why, but I built up the habit of drawing like that. But you don't always have to whip out. You do want to lift your hand up like a slight whip, but not like a, you don't got to do a quick whip. Cause sometimes I catch myself doing like a little quick whip at the end when you really don't have to. You just got to slightly lift your hand up. That whip out is a for sure way that you're not going to stop in the middle of your piece and you're going to get a big dot in between your line. Because if you stop, you're going to get an extra big dot. So to avoid those big dots and breakages in your line, you want to continue to keep that hand moving. What up, Ricky? Ricky, appreciate the follow. Appreciate the follow. But I definitely appreciate the questions because I'm going to definitely take all the questions I recorded and I'm going to make some shorts. So y'all definitely be looking on the short page. I'm going to be posting some of them questions and them answers. So I definitely appreciate y'all help so I know the questions that y'all have so I can answer them. Now mind y'all, like I said, I'm a person that I still like to learn myself. So if y'all have a question that I don't have the answer to, I guarantee you I'm gonna try to find something, or that means I'm obviously lost and I need to learn something myself. So I'm definitely down for looking it up, testing it, or even doing a little live like this. We could test it together. And that way, from real hand-on experience, you could definitely have some instant answers. Nah, you good. That's why I say I got them recorded, bro. So I appreciate that. So like I said, I never know the questions y'all have if y'all never ask. Appreciate it, Tyler. So I definitely appreciate the questions, because most likely if you got the question, somebody else got that same question. So me answering your question probably answered it for a couple of people. So you got to keep that in mind. I know back in my school days, I sure ain't used to think like that. I ain't want to ask the question and all that. I was that person. But now I know other people got that same question. They just don't want to ask. Waiting to see if somebody else gonna ask that question. Yeah, we grow and we get older and we learn. So I know that now. Back then I ain't look at it like that. But you know what they say, you know better, you do better. Let's go and fill in with our 7-round liner. And sometimes I end up hitting the button and like knock the volts like down by 1. But it was at 6.8 versus my 7 volts I was lining that in the beginning. You about to slowly go in here and shade this in. You can definitely start at the bottom. Now mind you, when I'm doing this, I'm still acting like I'm packing in black. Even though we're doing a small little area, I'm still hitting it with like my small little circles. Cause that's how I pack, all black. If you really want that solid black, small circles. And I ain't gonna say just black, because when I'm doing color, I want it saturated. I'm definitely hitting that in small circles. Working into one area at a time and build your way up. You don't want to try to cover a big amount of space if you're packing in black or trying to saturate color. I still see that little line right there. I be telling people since I've been streaming, it's been like good to look at the screen and be like, okay, yeah, I see I'm missing something. Versus me having to go take a picture of it and then notice that I'm missing something. So that's been a good extra set of eyes for me. We're gonna keep on filling that in because we want that solid black. Now mind you, that's another question some people might have. Cause I done heard this question before. Somebody asked me, how do you know when to like dip your machine in the ink? Basically, how you know when to go grab some more ink or when your machine is out of ink. Sometimes you'll catch yourself like shading until you don't really see no more ink. But also, the habit that I done built up is, okay, you hit it a few times and then you go and dip. You don't really wait for your machine to go dry before you go and dip, because then you causing unnecessary pain on trauma and stuff on the skin. So it's like every so often you definitely know to go and dip, but over time you definitely build that up. Like I said, everything comes through experience. You learn a lot more, and you can learn that just on fake skin, no lie. How often do you need to keep on dipping? You will build that up. But I say a good rule of thumb for that probably could be like what? Every 5 seconds, but I don't really count down. You can say about 5 seconds. No, probably more than 5 seconds. At least 10. I'm left-handed and it kinda left-handed and it's kinda cause it creates weird shadows on the person. Oh, I see. So it'd be tough to see your tattoo. So one thing I'll say about that, like if you is left-handed or right-handed, whatever you is, the shadows, like how this shadow here, is causing this shadow because the light is kind of coming from the left side. And if I put it here, the light is coming from that way, so it's going to kind of cast them shadows. So it's all about like where your light is hitting at. Like if I put my hand like close up by the light, you're going to see that shadow. So it's all about how you set your lighting up. And I noticed that too, so I've been trying to work on getting some better like angles for my lighting. I'm thinking about getting a third light specifically for that reason, because them shadows when streaming, I don't be liking that. So appreciate that, Ashley. Yep, work on that, moving that lighting around. And if you got one light, just put that light on your right side most likely. Because if you like doing it with your left hand, you're not casting that shadow on the back of your hand. You're putting the light in front of your hand, so that shadow will be behind your left hand. Same with me working on my right. I need to have some light coming from this way so I don't catch that shadow, which is still getting it though, because that light up there, I got 2 lights. But I think lighting could be kind of a little tricky thing. You just got to mess with it. Because you don't control, you try to control how the light fall. But light can spill all over the place, so No way to really control it unless you really starting to put stuff over the lights to really try to tone it down, things like that. But light will spill all over.
M_O__A. Welcome to my channel.
What up?
I use a headlamp.
Oh yeah. No
What's
lie.
your longest tattoo?
I
One
ain't.
that straps to my head.
Yeah. I was just about to say I ain't use a headlamp in a minute, but I used to do the same thing when I was working at another shop because it did seem to be dark, and that headlamp definitely do help. And by that one being like directly in front, it don't really create a shadow like that. So where you're tattooing is pretty close.
Help me focus.
Yeah. Like versus when the light is further away, it's easier to catch the shadows versus when it's like direct. It's not really creating as much shadow. But I ain't using a little headlamp in a minute. I do remember them. And they used to definitely come in handy. That's another thing I ain't doing in a while. I ain't talking about the headlamp, but my GoPro. I remember I used to have my GoPro on my head when I was 10, trying to record like the tattoo right in front of me. That's a good angle, most definitely though. That's like a definitely like point of view, like first person point of view. I might have to get me a head strap, try that again on stream.
I gotta buy a better one because mine's I bought for AutoZone it lasts 3 HR.
Oh, so you gotta keep charging it? As long as that bad boy don't go out after 3 hours, like and completely dead. So to have some thin lines and thick lines, it definitely makes a difference.
The light has starts to dim and ID have to charge it mid-tattoo.
Okay, yeah. That means you might want to get you a second one like that. At least you got that backup. That's why I wound up ordering this case for this GoPro, but look like I ain't gonna need that though. I thought I would.
Yet backups are good.
And speaking of backups, one thing you need to have a backup is the main object that we use in the tattoo machine. Cause you got one machine and something happened with it, you just can't finish your tattoo. So definitely always have your backup or a backup battery on it, or stuff like that. Because things do happen, that's out of your control, and you just gotta kind of roll with the punches. For real.
All charged.
Yep. And don't forget that dabbing, that definitely helped. Also, I ain't wipe it away. So I went through the whole thing just to say I just did.
I have one capable of
marker.
being a wired machine or battery powered and my FK irons.
Okay, yeah. And no lie, my FK iron, like you said, it's possible to be wired, but I just prefer that battery pack. And speaking of that, I need to order me another battery pack for that machine. I think the only reason I haven't ordered one yet is because big tattoos, that pretty much lasts. Damn, to think about it, that bad boy probably could last up to 8 hours. But sometimes I'm using this machine and that machine, so I ain't just using that one battery pack the whole time. Cause I done did portraits with it that definitely took about 5-6 hours. So I know that ain't nothing. That just be look like halfway through. So it probably could last up to 10 hours. But it was only what, $50, so it's
I
definitely
saw
a good
on
buy.
Master one contestant came with one machine and I learned from that.
Oh Lord, yeah, I must have missed that episode. I might have seen it though. Came with one machine and then he was done after that one, huh? Well, you always had that backup. Never know what'll happen. And one thing I'm glad about, the fact that wireless machines did take away a lot of those wires, because back then if you had your machine but you forgot a single wire, you forgot your foot pedal, it's like the whole process was done. Versus just the battery in the machine, you really could use the machine. But if you forgot your foot pedal, you forgot your power supply box, any of that, you couldn't tattoo because you had no power. Like one thing couldn't work without the other. When it was coming to wires, one thing ain't gonna work without the other. You need your clip cord. Forget that, you're done. So I definitely appreciate the wireless machines for that. For sure. Cause it done definitely happened to me before.
I appreciate the technical advance tattooing has come to.
Yes, I definitely appreciate that.
Technological.
Like I said, I used to walk around when I used to try to tattoo, and other people go to
What's your
people's
most
house.
painful tattoo?
I definitely used to do that. Had to carry my power supply, the clip cord, this, that. Versus now, you could go to anywhere with just your machine. But I think when I was doing it in the house, I only went to probably
Easy money.
about 3 people's house, and that was a wrap. Yeah, easy money.
Do you know the large needles used for blackout tattoos? Do you think a wired machine is better for those?
No, it all depends on the stroke. I noticed that tag hit different with the cord instead. Yeah, it definitely, because it's a consistent. It's more of a consistent. That's why it all depends on the batteries you got. Because all batteries is not as consistent as the clip cord. So that's why some people probably just stick to them cord machines and stuff like that. Because it's consistent power. But of course if power go out, you just done with that. And you say large needles are used blackout tattoos. Do you think a wire machine? Not really. Because if you got a 4-stroke or a 5-stroke, you know that's meant for those lines and hard shading and stuff like that. So these machines definitely could push it. But if you're trying to use a shader to do a blackout, I'll say no. Not even with a wired machine, a shader with a blackout, no. Get something with a good stroke that's going to punch in that black. And if it's capable of punching in that black, I don't think it matters if it's wired or line. Because a lot of people that's doing blackouts these days probably using wireless machines. No biggie, they do the same thing. It's all about the quality though. Like Good Guy was just saying, if you got a bad quality, like I had a battery pack from Amazon before, and I noticed it was inconsistent. It was hitting like good, then it'll dull down, then it'll pick up. That was a cheap battery. I said, you know what? Let me get rid of it. I had about 4 of them too. Once it started doing that, I left them alone, got me a whole nother battery. And it's been doing good so far. Till that act up, I'm gonna get a more expensive one than that. But it seemed like them good batteries that you really can rely on is that Critical, because Critical was the power supply I was using, so their batteries I kind of trusted them because the power supplies was official. I think I had that critical atom when it first came out, and it was consistent power, never let me down. Now they got the battery, so it's like, yeah, I can't see them missing with that. They already had the signs down, they just putting in the battery. Everybody day going. Everybody had a great day today. Talk to me, chat. Let me drink me some water. I know I'm talking a lot. My throat getting dry. But I definitely appreciate y'all hopping in. So we got a whole lot of questions. And I'm gonna be posting these shorts so y'all can always go back and see the answers if y'all do forget about it. Oh, needed that. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up. Cause I know with them thin lines, that's why I be stopping to like answer the questions. Them thin lines, I just try to relax, hold my breath, whatever I gotta do to make sure they super clean. Because that's one thing on a human body too. The least little jump on them bad boys, you're like, oh. And guess what? Now your thin line, you're gonna have to make it a little bit bolder to clean that line up. I prefer to make it a little bit bolder than to have a big old crooked line though. They was swell, huh? For sure, for sure. That's good to hear. Alright, I'm about to stretch this G. Bring it way up here.
I looked at my invoice list and the critical torque machine I have is 3.5mm and the FK irons is 4mm. I wasn't sure before.
Oh, so you ain't know what stroke they was. So the target is 3.5 and the FK is 4mm. Okay, so that means you must line with your FK, or you could shade with it too. You probably could shade with it. Cause FK iron machines, I think it do hit a bit softer than some of these other machines. But one of the machines I say I'm gonna try out is Bishop, and that's gonna be their shader, the 3.5 stroke. But yeah, that 3.5 stroke you could definitely shade with that. Now mind you, it do hit harder than the 3.2 stroke. That's what my FKI machine is, like 3.2. But it did come with it came with a 3.5 like cam as well. Probably use this whole little ink cap right here.
I do everything on both machines. My hand speed is generally slow, some my voltage doesn't go higher than 6.5. I honestly don't feel the difference between the stroke of the machines.
Oh yeah. If you're running at 6.5, then yeah, you probably not gonna feel too big of a difference. And that's why I'm saying that a higher stroke, you definitely gotta run that slow speed. But with the 3.5, it is pretty close. You probably feel it at 3.2. But you should get more layer build up with the 3.5 than the 4. But them two pretty close to each other though. That's why I was saying I prefer 3.2. I could definitely feel that difference versus the 4, cause it's a big jump. I've been also thinking about getting that Mass Pro 3.5 because the 4.2 stroke is definitely, now that one hit like a shader. That one is crazy. I was surprised at that. It said it's supposed to be 4.2. Getting through it, getting through it. But that's what I used to shade at a lot too though, 6.5. That's the little sweet spot right there. But I've been trying to raise my voltage up. Due to like, they got a guy, David Vig, he do a lot of portraits and he run at 8 volts. So I've been practicing them hand strokes at that 8 volts, which why also I was gonna try out the Bishop machine because that's what they use. And it's probably a different motor, so it's probably totally different. That's why at the end of the day, you just gotta kind of do what's comfortable for you. I said I'm killing it. You gotta go back blacking that in. Whatever tightening up we gotta do, you gonna go back with that 3-round liner. And this the difference between like using different brand cartridges. Because if this was my Mass Pro cartridge, the needle would not be hanging out. Look at it's hanging out far. But if this was the Mass Pro, it probably would have been like the same height. Or the same amount of hang off the needle out the tube. But by me using the different cartridge, I guess I gotta kind of adjust that give. Adjust the throw on the machine.
I love that there are so many machines. I didn't want to get caught up buying them, although Bishop has 3 different ones for different purposes. Are they actually different and necessary, or is it just marketing to consumers? What's your longest tattoo?
Now you're right about that. Is it just marketing to consumers? But it do say it got a 2.5, a 3.5, and a 4-stroke, right? So they say one is a liner, one is for packing, and one is for shading. So that middle stroke, it probably definitely be a difference. You say you don't feel too much of a difference in yours, so you never know. To you, it might not be no difference. So it might just be like a marketing thing. But I know I'm going straight for that middle, that shader. But according to them, also they got like cosmetic machines that go from what, 2.5 stroke, 1.5 stroke. That also help out. Do you think nowadays apprenticeships are necessary with the internet? Well, in these days, no. So I'll definitely say, definitely say that with the internet, I don't think apprenticeships is necessary. But like I was saying earlier, it's good to have an apprenticeship because doing it by yourself, you kind of learning as you go, which depends on how much time you putting in it. You can still learn pretty fast, but if you already got somebody on your side that's telling you, okay, boom, 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 you got all the shortcuts, so you're moving way faster than somebody that's trying to just pick it up and learn as they go. So I said, somebody giving you the tips and telling you what to do, you're gonna learn it a lot faster versus, okay, I gotta try this. And I'm like, oh, I know to use my smaller needle and then use my big needle because of this and that. You know what I'm saying? You'll kind of learn that you have somebody over your shoulder. So I think most people with apprenticeship, I think 90% chance probably learn faster because they're working with you hands on. But they also got people that ain't really putting the time into that apprenticeship and they only getting the bare minimum out of it and doing what they gotta do just to start tattooing. So it all depends on your situation though, but it's definitely not necessary. It's just a benefit of having that
Have a
mentor to show
machine
you.
for every stroke. Some people need serious guidance with tattooing.
Have a machine for every stroke, yeah. So you saying you got a machine for every stroke? Nah, that's crazy. You gotta tell me about some of them lower stroke machines, cause I only ever had like the 3.2, 4 stroke. I never felt like I had to go too low of a stroke. Okay, you saying you don't got that, alright? Yeah, but if you do got that, I don't think it's really needed. You know, you could do pretty much everything with one machine. Before I got my other machines,
Just 2 machines.
yep, that's all you really need. Get someone for backup. But my say before I had any other machine, my FKI, it definitely was my lining machine. It was my go-to. And then I realized, okay, this 4 stroke is really knocking these lines in better than that 3.2 stroke. So it all, you know, once you try different things, you're gonna kind of figure out what works for you, and you'll stick with it until things change up and you know try something else. Appreciate it, Barber Studio. So it's all go by experience and what you're trying out. So if you don't know they got no sharper needles, you know them needles gonna do just fine. But once you find out they got sharper needles that work better, most likely you're gonna be switching up because you see they work easier. You know the ink go in pretty easy.
Your channel is kinda like a mentorship distance apprenticeship.
Appreciate it, appreciate it. That kind of mean I'm on the right path and doing what I need to do. I've been trying to make it a little more better, like more engaging, things like that that could help out, post videos. Also, what I've been trying to add in also is like my daily, not daily life, but things that I do, like you know, go out second line, whatever. I said I'm gonna start going live, just to show y'all some, like on some daily life when I'm not working in the shop. Basically, I guess you could say like the other side of me, which is really no different. But just to show y'all kind of the stuff that I be into, that's it. That's why I want to start posting more of the travel, vlog, different stuff like that. So you'll know like the lifestyle basically, instead of just in the shop. That's why I'm gonna probably start interviewing some people in the chat, just give y'all a different perspective of that. But I know a lot of people when they get tattooed in the chat, they can't think. So trying to interview them in the chat be kind of tough. And they also got some people that don't want to be on camera, which you could still hear them though. But they also got those that don't mind. So most likely it's gonna probably be them that's gonna be doing the interviews.
Oh yeah, I was on your late stream yesterday but I was half asleep.
Oh yeah?
Would you get a horrible face tattoo at what price?
Oh no. Is the more expensive machines better? No, not technically. Because there are some nice machines out there, but some run 12, 1500, right? That Bishop on wine with the battery like about 12, 1500. But I'm just learning, so I don't. Nope, you ain't gotta go that big. Don't do it. Good guy, you just starting out? You could go pick up this machine for what, $189, $200 off Amazon. It's a good machine. As you see, I be using it for all my line work, all my dark shading. So it definitely will get you through the door, get you doing whatever you need to do. Or you could get a Mass Pro that's in the middle of this, which is like what, I think 3.5 stroke. But that 4.2 stroke work just fine too. So you can get you something $189, $200 range, and you're gonna do just fine. I think my first machine, I probably spent 20 or $50 on it. That was a car machine though, so there's different times, but you definitely gonna find you a good decent machine. 189, 200, do just fine. Definitely don't get no expensive machine. You sure not really used to it yet. Oh yeah. You said you was half asleep on the stream, MOA? Appreciate you for being on the stream though. Look like I've been moving up a little bit on that Twitch.
If I may add, I think if you buy an expensive machine, it'd be worth it to buy the whole kit or the extra power bolt instead of just the machine itself for the expensive price.
Yep. You're right about that. And that's why I was talking about that critical. I think it's that Bishop Critical Torque or something like that. It's the kit. You get 2 batteries and the machine for like
It's
$1,200. But it wouldn't be worth it just the machine for that price. Yeah, it's definitely worth it. It's a good machine. At least make it worth it, you know. But I wouldn't spend all that just on the machine itself. But if you really want something, of course, you know, I'll definitely spend it. Because I think I was about to spend that on like an inkjet. It was like $8.99. But I wound up, I guess, forgetting all about it and not worrying about that injector. I say those small circles. Small circles will definitely get you some solid black way faster.
On Kingpin tattoos, there's always a machine on clearance.
Oh yeah, on Kingpin, yeah, I do be noticing that. I be getting them emails, I believe. I got the Kiss of the Dragon for my practice skin. Oh damn. Oh, that's a machine. Want to have a different one for my clients when I get them. Okay. Well, yeah, you could definitely get a different machine for your clients, but if that one, the Kiss of the Dragon, is working, I don't think you really have to. But I understand you just
Hell
want
yeah,
to.
good idea.
I understand you just want to. You say, hell yeah, good idea. What? What's a good idea? MOA, which one we was talking about? I know I was answering different questions. Damn, different machine for your client.
Why the other viewer said the practice machine and a machine for clients.
Okay, yeah. No, I think he just want another
If you
machine
get
for
a horrible
clients.
face tattoo, at what price?
Yeah, I don't think he like need a machine, but I think he just want another machine for a client. But like you said, you done practice with that one, so you already used to it and how it hit. So when you get a new machine, you kind of starting over getting used to that machine as well. So I say practice with what you gonna plan on using. Cause you're gonna still have to practice with that new machine to kind of know how it hit. You know, when to jump on skin and you fresh with it. But I know I used to definitely try to spend a little time with some machines on fake skin, just so I know how it hit. And if I do start straight out on real skin, I'm using a low voltage pretty much. Until I like get a feel for it, then I could see, okay, we could go up from there, or we could go down, whatever we need to do. I still kind of do that though, like with certain parts of the body, because the skin on the leg is way more tighter, so you don't want to run the high speed on that leg. You can try to rip that skin up. So definitely spots that's more tighter with the skin, you definitely gotta watch and run your machine a little bit slower. So different parts of the body, you definitely just gotta, feel it out. But it's always good to start at that low speed and then kind of go up to your highest speed. Versus starting out high and then it just rip your skin. Yep, good guy.
I think of you but an expensive set and you practice work hard, the machine's gonna pay you back, it's an investment for sure.
That's all it is, MOA. It's an investment. That's how you gotta look at it. Cause when you think about us as tattoo artists, you could buy one machine. Say if it did cost you $1,000, it will last you, say, 8 years. You know how much you've been made back within those 8 years? You probably been made definitely over $100,000 with one machine. It's crazy.
Man.
Over $100,000. And now mind you, tattoo artists can make way more than $100,000 in 8 years. But I'm thinking as a beginner, you know what I'm saying? Like if you ain't making too much, you'd have made over $100,000 with one machine that you spent $1,000 or maybe $200 on. So it's an investment for sure. Cause it will repay. It's gonna pay for itself.
I've made 200 so far.
Well, definitely, I might say, depends on what your machine was. You pretty much already got your money back. You know, you gotta think about it like that. When you buy a machine, you can look at it like how long it's gonna take you. Even if you're doing only small tattoos, how long will it take you? And most likely, most tattoo artists, it's not gonna take them over, I'm gonna say 3 months. If you super new, the 3-month mark should be good for you. You should still be able to knock it out in 3 months. But if you like an experienced artist and you got your clients, you could pay for that machine within a week. So that's why I said it all depends. Appreciate the follow. But as you build up your clients and stuff like that, you'll notice those numbers gonna definitely start changing for you. But it's also about that time you put in. That's one thing in the tattoo industry. You definitely gotta put in the time, because we're in a service business, so we have to be in the shop. We have to do the tattoos if we want to make the money, of course. So we basically trading our time for the money, type thing like that. But as you build up your clients over time, you have more freedom. You don't have to just sit around in the tattoo shop, because I was once that person, sit around the tattoo shop, wait for somebody to walk in. But when you like build it up, you got your people that you kind of book on certain days, your only appointments. And if you want to do a walk-in, you could take a walk-in, but you're not going to have to survive off of walk-ins. So that's the whole thing. You try to work your way out of walk-ins. Because I used to be in the shop late, just not taking a big tattoo at 12 o'clock, and I'm done at 5 in the morning. No, them days is over. Appointments, best way to do it. You don't want to get stuck doing walk-ins. And walk-ins, you basically got to do what they want. You're not doing what you want or what you like to do. At least when people booking you for an appointment, they booking you because they like your work. So they want to see your work on them, of course. You know what I'm saying? They ain't just trying to just, get whatever, no, I don't want it like that. Which you still going to get those clients, but that'd be mostly new clients that be like all the extra stuff. But if your old clients used to your work, boom, you get to do what you want. Creative freedom. What up, good guy? Congrats. But it definitely takes time building it up. One thing I said, I'm about to try to start getting like tattoo conventions and stuff like that. Like traveling more with it. But them portraits is definitely my thing. So I'm gonna stay in my lane, mess with the portraits and some lettering. I think that's more of my, my speed right there. I add these small circles, make sure it's solid.
I started getting my business together in May. I'm hoping to pick up more clients in January.
Oh, you saying May? Yep. January. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say.
Would you get a horrible face tattoo at what price?
I'm gonna say not January, but more like February. It will definitely start picking up due to the income tax season and stuff like that. So yeah, the new year be good, but the reason why I say not January, because people just getting off like Christmas time, spending money and stuff like that, and everybody don't be having the money to spend around that time. But that's why you build up the clientele to where when it is slow and you don't got nobody, you still got somebody to tattoo. And during those times, you definitely throw your sales and stuff like that because you know people just spent all that money on gifts and stuff. So you gotta kind of make room for them because they coming to spend their money for a tattoo with you. What stroke is your machine? That's 4. 4-stroke Woody, Whoopi. Definitely 4-stroke machine here, Ambition Ninja. But that's one thing I'll say though, like the economy, with service-based business, we kind of going off like base of the economy. And the reason why I say we going off the economy because just like the pandemic, of course when they allowed us to reopen, people had extra money, so they had a lot of money flowing through the economy. People were getting extra checks and stuff like that. So guess what? I think that was one of the best years because people had a whole lot of extra cash to spend. When people got extra cash to spend, they gonna spend it. But when money tighten up, not a lot of money in the economy, they not gonna spend it on no tattoos like that. Now they would, but at the right price. Because if you're trying to tax and they only making their $200 a week or whatever like that, they really can't afford it. So they basically gonna just try to find the next person. Which, not saying, like people be saying cheap tattoos ain't good. No. Do what you gotta do, make your bread, and keep your business flowing. Cause if you're gonna just stop doing it, you're gonna let like $200 walk off or $100 walk off, you losing business. You don't wanna do that. That's bad for business. Oh, you like to go to a convention as well, good guy? Yeah, they pretty good. I've been to a couple of them. I think this will be the first one I'm gonna participate in. I always go to the one down here, but I said next year I'm gonna actually participate in the convention. And my goal with that is win the portrait award. That's it. If I don't, maybe I'll come in second, maybe third, but the goal is we going for first. We going for the gold, y'all. We going for the gusto, baby. So y'all definitely gonna be seeing me practicing more of my shading, soft shading and stuff like that for my portraits. But I definitely got a lot of content for y'all. Them shorts been coming out. Yep, on YouTube, so definitely y'all. I gotta post some of them shorts on TikTok as well, even the Instagram. But yeah, though, MOA, like that was last year, I think. That was one of them years. I don't know, it was a lot of money flowing. I think probably because we were just getting off of the pandemic and people still was getting some cash. But it's like even around Christmas it was busy. Now mind you, normally Christmas is not busy. But around Christmas, the whole December I think it was busy. So it just was a lot of money flowing in the market. And people had that extra money to spend. But like I said with that as well, it's like you still gotta have your prices right. Because if they plan on getting they might set at, say for example, $200, $250, but they getting prices like $300, $400, $500. So of course they're gonna keep on shopping. Not saying they're looking for cheap work. They still want to make sure the work is quality. Cause I believe you can get quality work for a cheap price. You see, I do the deal $100 and still try to get the work out there. Cause I'm really trying to get better with it versus just trying to get the dollar. I'm not tripping about it. But yeah, so you definitely can have your good prices and still get the work out. Think about this. I'm gonna put this in perspective for y'all. Instead of making your $500 off one tattoo, how about you try to get $500 from two tattoos, but you still got $500 in one day? So if you could do that 6 days or 7 days throughout the week, that's $3,000 in your pocket. Think about it. $3,000 in a week is insane for some people. Some people getting paid $800 every 2 weeks. So even if you could get $1,500 to $2,000 in 2 weeks, say for example in 2 weeks, that's $1,000 a week. Like we gotta kind of be grateful of what we do, because as tattoo artists, you really could make a lot of money. You just gotta know how to manage your money and how to put money to the side. That's it though, but it's a lot. It's a lot I want to definitely talk to y'all about and show y'all. So y'all stay tuned, man. They're gonna be for another video though. Definitely.
I do like to see the shading techniques because I've listened online about intentionally shading darker because when the skin heals it won't be as dark, but that throws me off.
Oh yeah, yeah. I said that in one of my videos because like I said, the tattoo gotta definitely heal up. So I said 10% of the tattoo fall out. So I said try to go a little bit darker. You ain't gotta go black or crazy with it, but you try to aim a little bit higher than the actual tone you're looking for. That medium tone gonna soften out and lighten up a little bit. So you try to go push a little above that medium. And that light tone is not really like the super lightest, but bring it up a little bit. That's all. It come with experience. That's what I'll say. It come with experience. From you doing it and seeing your tattoos heal, so you know how your tattoos heal. So that way, you know how to approach the tattoo when doing it. I charge $600 for a day, sit for a large project. Right. So I say everybody got different prices.
How do you know you've darkened enough?
I would say you could kind of go off of this. 1 second, let me drink some water. I'm about to tell you right fast. Based off saturation though. Yeah, it's based like saturating the skin, just like color. When you're coloring the tattoo, you don't want to see those spots in between there. So when you like doing black or shading, you want to make sure that area, that shading is kind of solid. Not kinda, you want it solid. So when it heal, it's gonna heal kind of almost exact. I ran across this person on Instagram. I had to message him because I'm like, look like the tattoo was healing exactly the way they did it. It wasn't really no lightening up. But the tip they gave me was saturation. So I guess they're using a black and gray shade, making sure you go over it and pack it in as if it was color, which was something new, but I guess it worked if they tattoos look like it's not lightening up or anything. So that's one of the things I've been going for also, not throughout the whole piece, but saturating is what I've been going for to really see that healing. But I ain't been sending under the heal tattoo if people don't send the pictures. We really can't do nothing about that. We just gotta do what we gotta do while we're in the shop. Once they gone, let them take care of their tattoo. If they send a picture, thumbs up. If not, maybe you see them next time and you gotta get your picture when they're in your chair.
Oh, definitely something I've gotta practice to understand.
Or you say allows you to work without breaking my client's wallet and they get $1,000 tattoo quality. Okay, bam. See, that all depends on your location. Cause, for example, down here, I'll say like the 600 day rate it'll be a little bit slow down here trying to get it. Now, mind you gonna get it, but not like I said, not everybody have it. Some people getting $200 a week, so 600 in a day is probably a little tough for them. And these days, a lot of people don't know about
Would you
saving
get
no
a
money.
horrible face
You know what I'm
tattoo
saying?
and
They
what
want instant
price?
gratification. So they don't know nothing about saving no bread. They just know they spontaneous and they trying to get tatted, trying to book a session right fast. So well, I'm here to learn for sure, good guy. He said something you gotta practice. Yeah, that Dawkins. Yep. Just take your time, build up your tone. That's why I say start with your light tone, and then you work your way up to your dark tones. And that's one of the reasons I definitely want to travel right there, Caleb. Like you say, $600 for a day rate is probably pretty good where you at. Now I don't know if it's like fast and people easily paying that 600, but down here a lot of people not so quick to come out the pocket because some people, that's like some people 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So some people ain't so fast to come out the pocket. That's Virginia, Roanoke, Virginia. So yeah, different areas is totally different. Everybody got different salaries. Like New York, California, they got some, high paying jobs probably because the price of living is crazy high out there too. But it's like down here, it's like we is backwards. We got price of living. We got the price of living that's keep going up, but yet the jobs is still not paying it. So some people is working 3 jobs just to pay bills. It's insane when you think about it. Like at least minimum 2 to 3 jobs to pay bills, especially if you in a household by yourself. So if you got a partner or something, it's probably a little bit easier. But it's like they not paying like that unless you got a top job in mostly plants. Plants, a lot of people in plant jobs and all that, they making the bread to where they ain't, yeah, they'll drop some bread. They ain't tripping on that. Because of course their checks look totally different from people working they regular 9 to 5. Now the plants, they probably working they little 12 hours, and boom, making their bread. But yeah, everybody, it depends on where you at. Everybody different. You say came up from Tampa, Florida, definitely a price difference, yeah. That's why I say it depends on where you at though. The price is definitely gonna fluctuate because it's all about what they getting paid up in that area. That's like a small town that really ain't got no money flowing through it. It's gonna be tough to try to survive. You have no choice but to try to do some cheap tattoos that's gonna, get people in because nobody got money. And that's all part of business. I'm gonna say that. It's not all part of business, but it's all a part of surviving business. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know your times, like when you gonna throw your sales. If you see things slow, you gotta put some flash out, put some prices on it, just to get people in the door. Even if you doing, for example, I done did $10 tattoos, but in one day you could still make $700 up to $1,000. Some people don't look at it like that because it's only $10 tattoos, but it's a bigger picture. You gotta look at the bigger picture. Don't look at the small. That's why I say you run about one tattoo trying to get the most when you could do multiple tattoos and get even more. That's the idea. That's why I say that's the business aspect. You gotta look at it, and not only the fact that you're gonna make your money, but you tattoo way more people, way more clients, so way more canvases on the streets where people gonna see their tattoos. And guess what? Word of mouth. Who did your tattoo? More people coming back into your shop. Not only getting those small $10 tattoo because they missed the sale, but they coming to book an appointment now for even bigger tattoos. So it's all part of a marketing scheme. Think about that. I offer afterpay for clients, yeah. That want to break up the amount and pay it over a few weeks, yeah. And no lie, I've been thinking about afterpay, but I never got started. I need to get on it. I ain't been on it, but I definitely got to get on the afterpay. What you say, Ashley? They found old body from what? 15 BC with tattoos? Has been here for a long time? Dang, I ain't hear about that one. That's crazy. Old body. I'm gonna have to look that up. Had tattoos, huh? Mm-mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I've been supposed to set up the afterpay. I never did it though. I might look into that this weekend. Start offering it. Cause like you said, that would entice more people to definitely like spend that bread. Like you said, once they do afterpay, like it's on them after that. You got your bread. I really appreciate y'all, bro. It's crazy. We got this recording like 40 minutes. So what I'm thinking about doing, I'm gonna post this whole recording with all our questions in one video. But I'm gonna take this one video, put it in Opus Clip, and I'm gonna break it down. They probably ain't gonna break it down question by question, but I'm gonna try my best to get it question by question. That way people ain't gotta look at no whole 40-minute video. Even if I could put it in like a 5-minute clip. Stuff like that. It'll help out. Cause Opus Clip, that AI has definitely been helping. So a lot of them short videos I posted today, based off of old videos that I already had. Not old videos, probably I did like what, a couple of weeks back type thing. So not really old, but it's tattoos that I previously did. And questions was asked, and yep, they went found the questions and kind of put it on the highlight reel.
Ricardo Hertz. Welcome to my channel. What is the machine?
He said, what is the machine? The tattoo machine? This is on Ambition Ninja. And we've been doing good on time in chat. We've been live for an hour and 49 minutes. And like I said, the recording itself is like 40 minutes. So we definitely got some good questions answered. So definitely y'all go on the YouTube. It's gonna definitely be on there, the shorts. So if y'all don't want to look at a full video, definitely check out some of them shorts. Because you're going to definitely have some of them answers in there. And most of them, the title going to pretty much give it away what it's going to be about. And some of them shorts been doing good though. But practice, 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 you know. You got no choice but to progress. You seen that? I almost turned it. But no, we don't want to turn it like that. Let's practice getting our hand in position. Like I said, we can't always turn our client body like that. So, get in position to where you feel comfortable pulling that line. And that's basically what you got to get comfortable with. Sometimes your client could turn their arm a certain way or things like that. But most of the times, like on the back, you can't just turn somebody, body. So you gotta kind of get used to angling your machine that way. Like they say, like an airplane on the strip, you go down, pull, and you lift up. Go down, pull, you lift up. Hit the ground running. The minute that machine touch down, your hand already moving. I'm about to be on hitting this little line here. We probably about to be hopping off chat, so I'm probably gonna go over and tighten up everything. So we definitely got a lot of questions answered, so I appreciate that. So I'm about to basically drop all these clips over to my hard drive, so I definitely have some of them posted over the weekend. Well, this is the weekend, but you know, Sunday, my off day. And most likely I'm gonna be going out doing something, you know. Sunday like the family day. But I still be catching myself working a little bit. Try not to. It's crazy because that's the only day that I do take off. But sometimes if I feel like, if I ain't got nobody booked for Monday, boom, that could be another off day, even though I'm still working and I'm doing something. But you know, I ain't actually tattooing. So it's like, as a tattoo artist, you're gonna kind of always be working. You just gotta make that time, you know, for yourself, for your family, whoever. Also setting like certain hours. Some people ain't gonna tattoo after a certain time. Like I said, I used to do walk-ins that taking big tattoos at 12 o'clock in the morning. Nope, not no more. If it ain't before 5 o'clock, I'm probably ain't doing like no big tattoo. I recommend at least 4 o'clock if you're gonna take 6 hours. But if you're gonna take 4 hours, no later than 6 o'clock. I'll knock it out. As long as we done by 10 o'clock. Now mind, they probably got times where I might go over a couple of minutes, something like that. But ain't no way I'm gonna be in here till 2 in the morning unless it's a Saturday and I decided that I'm gonna stay later, then I'll take somebody. But other than that, nah. And that decision is made like way beforehand anyway, if I'm gonna stay late or not. But I definitely appreciate everybody that hopped on. I'm gonna try to get up out here before it hit 12 o'clock, midnight. So appreciate y'all. I got all our video footage, all our recording. So definitely, hopefully y'all learned something, y'all.
I've tattooed overnight before, not again messed with my sleep pattern.
It definitely messed with the sleep pattern, huh? I was working at a shop that only opened at 2 in the evening to 2 in the morning. And that was horrible. Like, you go home 2 in the morning, you probably sleep. I mean, I wasn't waking up till about 12, 1 o'clock in the evening just to go right back to the tattoo shop. It's crazy. Yeah, so you definitely got to think about that. And I just use that Vaseline.
Some will endure it.
Yeah, because I definitely dealt with it. I was like a night owl.
I will not.
But I'm like, I'm
Will
done.
you get a horrible face tattoo at what price?
Them long sessions like that is, yeah, I'm done with them. Wipe that down. See how that easily wiped off of there? Dry paper towel. Boom. Now that's crazy. Some of the marker is still on there though. When I was tatting, it looked like it was wiping it away, but I guess it stained the skin. Just like right here, that's an old tat I did. It looked like it still got pink right there. So it just stained it. Well, yep, thick and thin, thick and thin. Like I said, down thick, up thin, down thick, up thin. So definitely appreciate y'all on the live today. So we about to be hopping off. Tune in with y'all Monday. Tune in Monday. Peace out.
PCE.